me to just start with the statement?
Sure, if you like.
All right. Obviously, got an important game here on Sunday. Terrific opponent. Got a lot of respect for this Michigan team. I think they've had a really good season. They've, like any team in college basketball, they had their struggles like we did in January. They're playing terrific now. I think Juwan's, as I said before we played him the first time, he's done a great job with a veteran group. Sometimes that can be difficult. He's done a great job. Simpson, I think, is one of the really elite competitors that I've ever coached against. I think he's one of the best competitors in college basketball. He and Teskey form a formidable kind of 1-5 combination. So excited. I know obviously it's a sold out game. Hopefully all of our fans will be there on a great Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Obviously feel good about the way we're playing, but in this league it's all about your next game and how you're performing in that one. We'll need to play really well against a terrific Michigan team.
You know if you'll have Kyle?
Yeah, right now it's looking doubtful for Kyle. We'll know more here soon, but it's looking doubtful.
How about Zoe?
Yeah, he's still ill, so that one's Zoe will be out. But Kyle, I'm kind of waiting to see.
Are you worried with Zoe if an illness knocking him out this long? Is he the only one sick, or is he?
No. I think I'm not worried about it spreading. It just it happens. It's obviously unfortunate with the timing also with Kyle. We'll need who that looks like is we'll need to play those minutes. It's really a combination. It could be a combination of guys from the guys that have already been in the rotation. I don't need to talk about, obviously EJ and Justin, but additional guys, whether that's Ibrahima or Danny Harrison. All those guys are going to need to be ready.
Eli Brooks for them he missed the last game, and I don't know if they've said what his status is, but if he doesn't play, what impact do you see him having on the team? As you've prepared for him, how do they look different when he's in, when he's not?
He's a good player. Eli is a really good player. They have a lot of depth on the front line and on the perimeter. So obviously the last time we played them, they were missing a very key player in Livers. Livers is tremendous. He's a tremendous player. They were without him last time we played. Obviously, we're without Kyle potentially this time. But they have, Livers obviously was a significant difference for them. Brooks is a really good player, but they do have a lot of depth.
But they played without him the other night. It was the start at least. It was Xavier and 4 guys were like 6'7" and taller.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to have Kyle, I don't know. It seems like it'd be a tough physical matchup for you guys.
Yeah, it's a concern. Their size and length is a major concern. They're one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest starting lineups I've seen. That's a concern. Again, does that mean we're going to have to adjust a little bit our lineup throughout the game? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what we do.
What kind of things can you do with EJ to get him prepared for a matchup like that?
I think just got to have a good day of practice. Got to work hard. Got to be locked into what we're doing. I'm really pleased with EJ's progression. He's just got to continue to keep growing. Like any freshman, there's ups and downs, but he's just giving us quality minutes. He's just got to keep battling. I get frustrated with a couple shots he missed the other day. I told him he's just got to keep fighting through it. But he's got a really good approach right now. Just pleased with that with him.
Are you and Mark done with the? Is it your play now? No, you played. Then he kind of.
No, I'm not going to go there with that. We wish them well in their game tonight. And, Mark's a good guy. That's all in the past for him and for me.
how do you handle when you go from a Thursday night road game to playing Sunday at home? There's obviously second week in a row you've had to do that, but what does that do for your prep? Like, did you have to do any Michigan prep before Nebraska?
Our staff did, yes. We did not as a group. We stayed the night in Lincoln.
Right.
I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but just concerned about the fatigue and the late tip. Stayed the night in Lincoln, got sleep, rested. Last night and this morning was a lot of prep. Obviously short turnaround, so you want to try to, while there's certainly some game plan things you need to put in, I think you don't want at this point get your mind, your players. You want your players to play with a free mind, so that might require a little bit of a simpler game plan.
The way the last game up there was so physical and was, I mean, obviously a low-scoring game, really tight game. Do you think this one, the way you're both playing now, could be maybe a little more open?
I don't know. Yeah, I thought the last game was a credit to both teams' defenses. I think both teams missed some open shots, but I thought their defense and length really bothered us. And I thought our defense was pretty solid for the most part. Though most games are different, will it be another game in the 50s or low 60s? I'm not sure. They're very capable. I think they're the second most efficient offense in the league right now. We're the third most. They're really good. They're a really good team. They're really good offensively. Got great length. Play really hard. Play together. But I'm not sure what type of game it'll be.
Chris, you mentioned you guys have been playing well lately. I was looking at this. Your efficiency margin over the last month is kind of similar to what it was in December, third month of December, and you're obviously playing more consistent, better competition. When you guys are going through January, I think a lot of fans wondered, like, can they get back to what they looked like in November and December? And I know that's not totally realistic, but I'm wondering, like, do you look at it that way at all? Like, when you guys were playing so early, was there any part of you that was like, it's going to get harder in terms of the competition, but this is a picture of who we can be? And like, do you feel like you're anywhere back closer to that now?
Well, I think it's. Yeah, I do. I feel like we've had some really good stretches. What makes it a little more significant is the consistent competition that we played in. The best league in the country was a little bit, we had a hard December schedule, but it wasn't one right after the other that you have in this league. I think we've been better with the ball. Our defense has been a little bit inconsistent in terms of its efficiency, but we've been pretty efficient. It's interesting that in and out of some of these injuries and things that have happened, our guys have done a really good job of adjusting and just moving forward and trying to improve in some of those areas we've talked about improving in. And I think it showed in some real consistency. But in this league, you're never far away from another difficult stretch.
Is that any kind of sign of improved maturity with your team, that you can go through some of that, like you said, and still find ways to play well?
I think so. I give just like the other night. I thought our approach was really good. That's completely on our captains and our upperclassmen. I mean, that is completely on them. They are the ones that I think set the tone for the kind of approach we needed on the road. And we'll see if we can back that up with a really good approach going into tomorrow's game against Michigan.
Michigan, from the day you beat them, they won their next 5 games, then they lost at home the other night. Wisconsin played a really good game against them. Having Livers in there a little bit, sprinkling him in, has helped. What was maybe the difference, or as you say, maybe they've been a little bit more efficient offensively in that stretch? I don't know, what's been different for them that you guys have noticed as you search through those wins they had after you played?
I think the addition of Livers for one, and I think I've always looked at them going into it, even when they were struggling, and saying, hey, they're just a couple, probably some health and a couple good games away from getting on a roll. They're just too, you have guys that have won at such a high level in their program. And again, I think one of the elite competitors in college basketball, in Simpson. So you knew it wasn't going to be too far off. And like I said, I think they've got a really good way about them. They've stayed together through the ups and downs. I think they have an opportunity to have a really exciting finish. So I didn't notice anything in particular outside of, getting Livers back, who's an important part of their offensive attack.
And Walker the other night, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and he has to play a lot of minutes. And I don't know, just he's had games similar to that, but not on an every game basis. Did you see some things from him the other night that he's starting to turn a corner, or that he's playing at a higher level?
I think I've seen it last month. Been a little bit inconsistent, but in the last month, I think C.J. Walker's provided excellent leadership for us and really solid play. He's had really solid play in terms of his assist turnover ratio for the past really 5 weeks. He leads the Big Ten right now in assist to turnover ratio. I think his offense at times he's had some really good offensive moments. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now. Defensively, he continues to grow, but I've been really pleased with his leadership. He's been instrumental.
As you've talked about these upperclassmen and how much you've leaned on them recently, this time of year, how much do you need to be a player-driven locker room where you guys can't be in there as coaches, but like if things are going well right now, how much do you need players to be taking the ownership at this time of the year?
It's so much about a players-led environment, locker room right now. It really is. It is so much about that, and I think this time of year, you don't completely turn it over as a coach, but you turn a lot of it over to those older guys. And granted, we only have kind of one scholarship senior, but between he and Danny and our juniors, they've done a good job in that area this last 5-6 weeks.
How do you see that manifest itself on the court? Obviously,
I see it more in preparation.
Okay.
Certainly see it on the court, their connectedness, but I see it more in this stuff.
Okay.
What their approach is in practice. Maybe time for one more.
And with missing DJ and Kyle, like you said, you guys have still been able to string together some wins, play good basketball. Just what does this say about the group, and how have you seen that approach?
Just been really pleased with the character of this group, given some of those things. Just really pleased. I think we battled, and I just hope we can continue that here this last week going into Big Ten play. But it's been really, really good to see. I've been really proud of him. See how we move forward.
Anything new on DJ now that he's returned?
No, really glad to have him back.
Yeah.
Excited to have DJ back. He's back in class. He's back in school. No news to report, but we're excited to have him back.